we have 50 minutes of Dharma talk, followed by half an hour of Q&A. So that is for you to keep in mind. Okay. So as you all remember, today's topic, as well as it has been for the last I think a month or so, it's the path to Kasati, glossary to the path of enlightenment by Gampopa, a Precious Garland of the Supreme Path. So that was the book, and this actually details the pathway to enlightenment. And so within that book there are 28 different sections, and we are dealing with the section known as 10 things to know, or 10 things to realize, 10 things to recognize, 10 things to know, 10 things to realize. And of this, we have covered 5 of them last week. So now we have 4 more to go. So please listen to the following teachings with the proper motivation of Bodhisattva, which is to aspire enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. Okay, so today's topic is known as the suffering is a blessing. To see suffering as a blessing, suffering as a blessing in the sense because through suffering we are able to realize. Through suffering we are able to realize the necessity to escape from samsara, and because of that, to the strong aspiration to escape samsara is called renunciation. So one renunciates, one renounces the world. So we can go into detail as to what it means by saying renouncing. So renunciation comes from detachment. When you keep seeing all things, when you keep seeing everything as beautiful, then you see everything as beautiful, nice, and smooth, and all that. Then it makes you like that thing, and the more you like something without awareness, then the likeness immediately turns into attachment, and without your knowledge, it will turn into attachment. Liking something and disliking something is not negative. You can like something, that is also fine. You can not like something. For example, if you don't like Tibetan food, if you don't like Vietnamese food, that is not a bad thing. If you don't like Vietnamese music, or if you don't like Tibetan artwork, that is not a bad thing. That is not a negative thing. Or if you like Tibetan Buddhism, or if you like Vietnamese culture, that is also not a bad thing. But if attachment rises within your mind stream, within your heart, within your mind, towards a certain object, towards a certain tradition, towards a certain group, or towards a certain individual, then it starts to get more and more problematic. So liking and disliking is fine. So you have the things that you like and dislike, and if you don't check yourself, if you don't check your mind, what will happen is that liking will immediately, without your prior knowledge, will turn into attachment. And once attachment comes, then as the name suggests, attachment, it's attached. So you cannot let go of it. You can never part away with that. And what happens is, whatever things that you like in this world, you are attached to it. You want to have a long life, you are attached to a long life. You don't want to die at all. You will do everything. The thought of death actually makes you feel, gets you worried, and you are attached to your possessions, properties, house, and all those things. And then the thought of losing them makes you feel depressed and so on and so forth. So therefore, attachment to any samsaric qualities, we call that. So whatever that is in this world, they are part of the samsaric sort of illusion or mirage. So illusion, not in the sense of it being a fake thing, but illusion in the sense of being they are not worthy of your attachment. So because the meaning of illusion is like if you see something and go there, an illusory image is that you see illusion. You see the image of let's say a beautiful car, and if it's an illusory image, then even though from a distance it looks like a very beautiful car, but once you get near it, or once you try to get inside that car, it will not be able to function as a car. So therefore, it is illusory in that sense. It is not illusory in the sense of not being there. It is there, but it's illusory in the sense of not being able to function as it should be. So all samsaric phenomena are like that. Even though houses, cars, and all the properties that we have are there, very much there. So they are not illusory in the sense of not being there. They are there. All the properties that we are attached to are still there, but they are illusory in the sense of being deceptive, deceiving us of promising the ultimate fulfillment, but not being able to do so. So maybe let me repeat it. The samsaric phenomena, all the things that we enjoy in samsara, are deceptive in the sense that they offer us ultimate fulfillment, but not being able to do so. So this is the thing. That is the reason why we should not. When we have sufferings, suffering is none other than going through things that you dislike. So if you anything that you do not like, if you have to endure through that a thing that you do not like for a certain amount of time, then it turns into suffering or misery. So you like good music, a certain kind of music, let's say Western music, you like that. But if you keep listening to the music for more than, let's say, 24 hours or even 7 to 8 hours, then your ears start to ache, and then you will not be able to. The joy of listening to Western music turns into the pain of listening to music. And so, like, this is, in other words, it's referred to as the pain, suffering of change. So therefore, in one sense, from a conventional point of view, suffering is something that you want to avoid. But for a practitioner, since this is a practical book, a book for practitioners, for a practitioners, one should welcome the sufferings. So this is what you have to understand. If you are not a practitioner, then maybe you want to indulge in your life and you want to just, go get it. But if you want to practice, then you should restrain yourself. And then you should restrain yourself from indulgence, and you should, when suffering and the things that you do not desire happens to you, befalls you, then see them as a blessing. Because when you see so many things that you dislike, when you have to endure through so many suffering, then you feel like, when do we feel like we want to breathe out the most? When do we feel like we want to breathe out most? If we feel suffocated, that is the time. The more suffocated we are, the more we want to breathe out, right? To the desire to breathe out comes the most when you have been suffocated. If you suffocate yourself for a certain amount of time, then the desire or the urge to breathe out will will rise. The more suffocated you are, the more you will desire to breathe out. So the more suffering you see, the more you want to liberate yourself. And so a number of times, because we have people who have not seen, anyway, so that because of that, suffering brings forth renunciation within our mind stream. And with renunciation, one starts on the path towards exit of samsara. Without proper renunciation, it's one has never been on the path towards the exit of samsara. So with suffering comes renunciation, which brings us towards the exit of samsara. So now we have seen that all the negative things in samsara, all the negative things that you are experiencing, which we refer to as, which we call them suffering. So we have seen suffering as a source of our renunciation, and so we regard suffering as our teacher, something to learn a lesson from. And the other thing that we experience in this life is joy. Joy itself is fine, happiness. But as I told earlier, when we are not aware, if we are not alert, if we are not alert enough, then unaware of ourselves, our mind will turn from joy, happiness, and liking to attachment without our knowledge. And so we know the problem of what attachment is. So attachment, so you are attached to one thing, and when you are attached to something, and if the thing that let's say you are attached to your house, if you have attachment towards your house, then if somebody does something to your house, if somebody tries to ruin your house, or something like rain or some external forces destroys your house or whatever, or if it is going to destroy, then you start worrying about, oh, my house is going to fall down. People are throwing things on my house. People are throwing things around my house. So you keep worrying about all those things. The first you have liking towards your house, and then immediately you don't know where, you're not able to put a clear sort of clear mark as to when it is transitioning from liking to attachment. So what happens is, all of a sudden you are so much attached to your house, and if somebody just look at your house, you feel like, oh, that person maybe wants to do something, is trying to maybe come inside and steal something from my house. So and then immediately the liking turns into attachment, and without your proper knowledge, without you being aware, the attachment will give rise to hatred. Well, not necessarily hatred in the sense of, but we talk about the three poisons, right? Attachment, hatred, and ignorance. So it may not necessarily be hatred as in I hate you, but in the sense of in the sense of being disturbed by others' presence near your house. So at the end of the day, it disturbs your peace. So therefore, all the joys in this life brings us more and more attachment. The more joy you have, the more things you like you have, the more, that's why a large number of wealthy people, they have so much worry. So when you have so much wealth, there is the worry for keeping the wealth. Security is a main concern. If you have so much wealth, you need to maintain that wealth at least. If you cannot make it more, even if you cannot improve the amount of wealth that you're amassing, you would still need to maintain it. So maintaining my whatever million or billion we have, that becomes very important. And you worry, and every day you start brooding over those things, and then you lose your sleep, and you have to take your antidepressant pills and so on and so forth. Anyway, so all the joys in this life are source for all the joys in this world is a source for rooting us back in samsara, for anchoring us in samsara, for sticking us in samsara. So therefore, all the joys should be seen as the emissary of Mara, emissary, messenger, or of the devil, of the Mara. So Mara can be thought of as a devil in person, or Mara can be understood as ignorance in the form of a so Mara as a person is the devil, and so devil is none other than our own deceptive mindset, and so therefore one has to see. This is strictly practice related, so you have to understand that. I will go into it a little later, anyways. So all the joys that you see in this life are the source for you being stuck in samsara. So therefore, you should see them as Mara. You should see them as the demon and abandon. You should see them as the demon.
Rinpoche, can you take the microphone? They can hear. Rinpoche,
Rinpoche, we cannot hear you, Rinpoche. Uh-oh. I don't think Rinpoche can hear us either. Rinpoche?
Rinpoche,
We can't hear you, Rinpoche.
Accumulation of merit. Hindrances to the accumulation of merit. Hello? Yeah.
We
Can you hear me?
from beginning, from can hear.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So then we are going through number 8, which is number 8 is there's pleasure and pleasure making, and all these things are distractions. All the distractions are a hindrance, an obstacle to one's practice in the sense of accumulation of merit. So this is in line with point number 7, which we have to see all forms of joyfulness, all the things that we like, and all forms of happiness, and all things that we enjoy. We see them as a source for making us stuck in samsara, and as an messenger of Mara. That was verse number 7. So similarly, in similar lines, number 8 also says all the things that we indulge in, let's say merrymaking, like partying and gambling and all those indulgences that we do are also they distract us from our main goal. All those sparks of indulgences distract us from our main goal, and so therefore they should be seen as hindrances towards accumulation of merit. So let me explain this a little bit further. So whatever joy we have in this life, whatever endowments we have in this life, whatever we could enjoy, whatever we could do, are actually made possible through our own previous lifetimes good karma. Because of our own good karma in our previous life, because of our good karma, we're able to move our hand, we are able to see properly, we are able to taste properly. Whatever we eat, we can taste we can taste the taste of the food. We can determine whether it's a good food, good, hot, cold, and so on and so forth. And if we have nice clothes to wear, and when we wear nice clothes, we can feel the comfort. We have been endowed with the sense to be able to feel the comfort of good clothes. So all those good fortunes are because of our good karma. Good karma meaning it is not given by God or it is not given by somebody else, but through our own hard work, just like your own hard work, hard-earned money that you enjoy at the end of the month. You work hard and then you get salary, or you work hard and at the end of your just like that. If you work hard for the day and in the evening you get some money to spend to do. It's just like that. Like karma is just like that. Whatever hard work you put in, you are able to enjoy whatever hard work, whatever good deed you put in. So whatever we are enjoying in this life, it is not something that come out of thin blue air. It didn't come out just from nowhere. It was not given by anyone else. It was your own hard-earned merit. So merit is like a check. So whatever merit you have accumulated, you turn in the merit, and then merit is transformed into things of, just like money. You want to eat something, you give money, then you get what you want to eat. You want to go somewhere, you give money, then money is transformed into your air ticket. Money is transformed into your food. The money is transformed into your stay in a hotel. Money is transformed into your hospital bills. So just like that, the merit is transformed into things that you enjoy. So what happened is, of course, there is the necessity things like, you have to eat, you have to live in a good house, you have to eat good food, you have to wear good clothes. There's up to a certain standard. You need all of those things, and that is very much understandable and necessity, and that is fine. If we go beyond that, if we indulge ourselves in things more than we actually need, if we keep hoarding things more than we need, like let's say we have like sets of 40 pairs of shoes, or 200 pairs of t-shirts and something like that, then just like if you buy 200 shirts and just keep it there, it's a waste of money. Similarly, the merits also wasted, and then the merit. So indulgence is just like wasting your money, just like indulgent shopping. Just like indulgent shopping is a hindrance to your pocket, your money. Indulgence in life is also a hindrance to your practices and a hindrance to your merit, and that will only help to decrease your merit. just like you can use money to maybe invest or maybe purchase something that is useful for a long term. You know, you buy something that is long lasting, then the money, whatever money you pay in a huge sum at the in the beginning, you can use it for a very long time, even after inflation, and when the price of the rate of the object that you have bought today increases drastically in the future, you can still use that same object. Let's say like a refrigerator, you know, you use it for 10, 20 years, or a sofa, which you can use for 10, 20 years. So if you buy a good product, what I'm saying is, I'm just giving an example in like real life. If you buy a good product, you can use it for a very long time and you're not wasting your money because you are able to utilize to the full extent of what that product can offer. Similarly, your merit has a lot of potential. It can be used for so many good things. It can be used, so you have to use your money, your merits. You have to use your merit. Because of your merit, you have knowledge. Because of your merit, you are able to earn money. Because of your merit, you are able to live a long life. Because of your merit, you are able to help others. So use them, utilize them for the good. Utilize them. Whatever you need, you acquire them, and whatever extra there is, use them to give to the poor, or use them as a sort of a and you know, if you have so much money, then if you have a huge amount of money, then you can leave an endowment. You can start a charity. You can, or you can just you know, make small contribution to destitute children, poor people, and so on and so forth, like that. That will actually increase your merit. You know, it's just like good investment. So you have, you know, so you invest your, you have to invest, you have to utilize, and you have to invest your merit wisely. So if you indulge yourself in all those things, then it will be a hindrance to your merit. So therefore, this is something you should be aware of, you should know. So the next is the opposite side of point number 8, which is the obstacles and the accidents that we face in our life. The accidents and the accidental incidents, and the obstacles that we have in our life are to be seen as a reminder, a call, a clarion call for us to practice. Because when we only when we have go through something negative, when we have something bad, then this is similar to what I just said during point number 7, that the urge to breathe out is at the highest point when you are suffocated. The more suffocated you are, the more you want to breathe out. The more hungry you are, the more you want to eat. Like that, the more suffering or the more obstacles and accidental incidents happen to you, the more you want to do Dharma practice, because Dharma is the only way out of all this. The Dharma is the only way to uproot everything. So therefore, when accidental incidents occur to you, and when you're faced with obstacles, for example, you are doing your business and your business is not doing well, then take that as a lesson, take that as a clarion call for Dharma practice. Oh, my business is not doing good. My business is failing. Just like my business, my health in general is failing. The more you age, the more you advance in your age, more and more of your your faculties, your physical faculties, the potential of your physical faculties diminish the more you age. Just like my business, I'm also aging. That means, what is the end of aging? Death. And so even though it feels like death is a little bit quite far away, maybe 20, 30 years or 50, 70 years away from me, actually, if I think of it, I don't feel like I'm going to die at all. Yes, my friends' parents are dying. Other people die. There is like 900,000 people die every day in the world. But still, I don't think I will die. Not today, not tomorrow, not this year, not next year. Even in 10 years, I may not die. This is how we feel because we are so attached to. So death is not the end. If we talk about this in the Buddhism, we can have more discussion if you like, but I'll just go very briefly. Death is not the ultimate end. It is just it's just like walking through one door to another door. So when you move from one door to another door, you move from one room to another room. Yes, you are leaving this room, this body. And this room is what we are not able to part away with. Maybe we want to, if when we die, we not only go to the next life, or we not only embrace our next the body of our next life, but if you also can keep our present body, like we have those 200, 300 shirts in our cupboard, or we have those 70, 50 shoes in our cupboard, which you can change every time you want to change them, like your mobile phone covers, you can change them. If your body is like that, then you will no longer feel you will no longer fear death. But the thing is, when we die, we have to leave everything that we have in this life for the next one. And since we are so much used to the comforts of this life, we are attached to it, and we do not want to part away with it. And that's why we feel like this is my body. This is my personal thing. And I would not want to part away with it, and I will never part away with it. So therefore, I will not die. Even though I see, we can say very easily from our mouth, we can say, oh, of course, death is imminent, death is imminent. We can die very soon. But deep down, from the bottom of our heart, into the bones, do you feel like you are going to die tomorrow, today? If you don't feel like you're going to die tomorrow, then you are quite certain you don't feel like you're going to die next year. You're not sure if you're going to die next year or not. Just like you're not sure if you're going to die tonight or just now. But you don't feel like you're going to die. You don't feel like you're going to die tomorrow. You don't feel like tonight I sleep and tomorrow morning I'm no longer waking up. You don't feel like that. If you don't feel like you're going to die tomorrow, then you're not going to feel like you're going to die after 10 years. But if logically, if someone asks you, are you going to live, all of us here in this room, in this space, are we going to live until 2300? No, right? That's even though there's no logical explanation, we will not, but we all know that we will not live up to 2300. We know if we can make it up to 2100, then that is also a huge achievement. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say here is all the obstacles and the accidental incidents actually is like an alarm bell, is a clarion call for us to do Dharma practice. No matter how much time you have, whatever time we have, we use that. We utilize the time the remainder of our time for the ultimate purpose, for Dharma. So when we say Dharma, we're not talking about one religious sect. It's not about just the tradition of one man, one prince, one Indian. We're not just talking about the tradition that is started by an Indian prince called Siddhartha. Dharma has many different meanings, at least 10 very important meanings. And of that, of the 10, we will just pick two, just a few here. When we say Dharma as in Dharma practice, we are talking about the practice of transforming our mind, making our mental continuum, our mind, much stronger than it already is. It has the potential to be strong. Our mind has that huge potential to become stronger than it already is. Right now, we give up. Right now, we are so sensitive. Sensitive is, can be a good thing and bad thing. Right now, we are too sensitive to things that does not require our concern. So what you have to do is we have to strengthen our mind. We have to strengthen. So mind can be understood in many different things. In English, we have one word, mind, but in Tibetan and in Sanskrit, in Tibetan we say sim, or in Sanskrit, chitta. So which can mean mind, which can mean aspiration, which can mean heart. So it has a lot of different meanings. So let's say you have to strengthen your spirit. So this is not the spirit in the sense of a separate sentient being, but spirit in the sense of a good spirit, a strong spirit. So strengthen your mental continuum. That is the proper Dharma terminology. So strengthen your mental continuum, improve your mental continuum, develop your mental continuum to its farthest extent. And that is what we are talking about by saying, when we say practice the Dharma. So this is what we have to know. So the last one, so we talk about seeing all good things as bad things and bad things as good things. Whatever good things come, just don't get stuck with it. Just go along with your life. And whatever bad things come, just don't brood over it. Get on with your life. This and that. So the basis of all that is because whether good or bad, everything is essentially empty of having an inherent existence. So essentially, all phenomena are empty. All phenomena are nothing is inherently or ultimately existent. So therefore, all the good things, your friends, family, everything, all the bad things, illnesses, death, your enemy, and everything, they are both essentially empty of having inherent existence. And so therefore, your enemy and your friends, good things and bad things, joy and suffering, they are all one should see them all in the equal, in an equal manner. Don't get stuck towards good thing, and don't go on brooding over bad things, because they are essentially all same. Essentially, they are all non-existent. So therefore, one should not be stuck between taking one and giving away the other. Both are equal. So take both of them in equal measure and give away in equal measure. So that is one we should be doing, and that is the number 10. Okay, so we will conclude the teaching here. And one important thing is, you might find this very difficult to put into practice, like seeing all the good things as bad things and all the bad things as good things. Meaning, obstacles, your enemies, everything, when we have them, oh, think of them as your teacher, think of them as that and that. All the good things that you enjoy in your life, your house, your car, your, your shoes, your shirts and everything. Oh, these are just distraction, give them away. So you might have this question as about, maybe you are right. Maybe Rinpoche is right. But this is not a practice for people like me. I'm a lay person. Maybe this is an ideal practice for a Dharma practitioner, such as a monk and so on and so forth. For a holy person, this is the right practice. But for me, maybe not. I cannot do that. I have a family and all these things. So the thing here is, it doesn't. This is a practice. It's a training set, meaning you have to train your mind to think it that way. When you train your mind to think that way, then when you actually face such problems, for example, like you have there's an arch enemy that wants to harm you, or you have an accidental incident, any of those things happen, then not everything is lost. If you always think about those things, those materialistic things, if that is the only thing that occupies your mind, as long as everything is going smoothly, it seems okay. But when the train stops, when the train halts all of a sudden, then everything falls apart. So therefore, this training is the most important part. When we talk about attachment and giving away attachment, we're not talking about giving up everything. One good example we use in Tibetan is His Holiness the Dalai Lama, of course. Up until 2011, he is the king of Tibet. He is the temporal as well as spiritual and political king of leader of Tibet. And as the king of Tibet, he has the royal palace, he has everything. He has ministers, he has thousands of servants, and everything. But at the same time, His Holiness, all the Dalai Lamas were great masters, great practitioners. They have all the possessions, they have all the wealth, and they have the palace and everything, all the ministers, all the power. But they use that power, they use the possession, they use that with detachment, not with attachment. That the teaching that our teachers tells us that the thing is that even though the Dalai Lama is in the palace, he is the owner of the palace, he is the king of the land of whole of Tibet and everything like that. But at the same time, if he has to give that up, he is ruling, or he is presiding over the Tibet, the land of Tibet, for the sake of people, because there has been many kings before the Dalai Lama, and then they have been very corrupt and been very cruel to the people and so on and so forth. That's why that's why His Holiness was appointed as the king, as the leader of the kingdom, so that a compassionate leader will make people less suffer. And because of that, he was the king, he was taking care of all the government, everything. But at the same time, he has an iota, one single atom of attachment towards everything that is actually his. So for him, all the riches, all the treasures in the Potala Palace, and an empty cave with nothing inside is equal. So this is that kind of mindset is what we should try to achieve. Can we achieve that in our lifetime? Yes, we can, very much. Is it achievable? Very much so. Is it difficult? Very much so, too. So it depends on whether you want to achieve something like this or not. To have everything, but at the same time not attached to anything. If you can have that mindset, then you will be ultimately free. You have everything, but at the same time, you have everything, but you have no attachment to anything. And that is the ultimate freedom. So do you want to free yourself or not?
It's okay, Rinpoche.
Thank you. Thank you. So this concludes today's teaching. So you can ask questions. There was a request from student to give the Yamantaka mantra oral transmission, because some of the students want to recite the mantra, so they feel if they receive the transmission, it will be much So those of you who would like to receive those of you who would like to receive the transmission of the Yamantaka mantra, so you can listen to this. So it will just take like 1 minute or 2 minutes. So Yamantaka is the wrathful form of Manjushri, Manjushri being the Buddha of wisdom. So as we talked earlier, when you are most hungry, you want to eat more, right? When you are suffocated, you want to breathe out the most. Similarly, in today's time, such a degenerate time, people are, with internet and everything, we feel like people are getting more and more intelligent and more smart. But actually, there's a saying that technologies are getting smarter and people are getting more stupider. Earlier times, we do not need to rely on earlier times we would memorize a lot of things like number and sort of thing, a lot of knowledge we will try to put in our mind. But nowadays, since we have Google and everything, we don't have to memorize a lot of things. Most of the people, maybe, I'm not saying they are, but maybe people are getting stupider. Anyway, in today's or more stupid, it's quite true that people are getting less and less wise. With all the information that we have, all the intelligence that we gathered, we utilize them for anyway. So this is a long talk. So the reason we are practicing Yamantaka is because our wisdom is actually failing, and Yamantaka, the Manjushri is the soft form, if you like to call it that way, the peaceful form of wisdom. So when somebody tells you to do something peacefully, you're not listening. So what do you have to do? You have to shout, or you have to, be a little bit more aggressive. And that's where the Yamantaka comes in. So people are not able to generate genuine wisdom with a soft push. So for those of us who are not able to push, who are not able to generate wisdom with just a soft push, here comes the hard push of Yamantaka. And so this is why Yamantaka is so wrathful. It's this most wrathful form of any deities. And the reason they are wrathful, so this is, it's a wrathfulness is an expression. And it's an expression not of anger, even though wrathful seems anger. When you have those of you who have children, they know sometimes when your kid doesn't listen to you, when they're very small, you try to, be a little stern, when you tell them something very softly, they don't listen. And so you try to be a little bit more serious, and then try to tell them with a stern face, do this or not do this. Just like that, Yamantaka is like that. People are not listening with a soft push. So he does a hard push here. And okay, please. Yeah. Okay. So those who want to receive this, this is a tantric practice. If you want to receive this from the bottom of your heart, have that the intention to receive this for the sake of all sentient beings. and yeah.
Và đối với cả những ai mà muốn thọ nhận truyền lung câu chú này thì chúng ta hãy khởi lên từ tận đáy lòng của mình rằng chúng ta muốn chỉ tụng câu chú này của Dhammakata gợi lại.
So just we'll do a short mandala. Sashi Brigade Chushin Method, Razing Shin, they can buy the Sangation to Mede. To win them Dajin Laju Bara Shua, Eden Mongoro, Mandala Kamia Dada. So Jocho Taboje, Bo Chugi Jujin, do what you went in the bomb, the Jiji, La Chance. So you can repeat after me.
Bây giờ chúng ta có thể lặp lại theo thầy.
So first, I will give the essence mantra. So the heart mantra or the essence mantra.
Trước tiên thì thầy sẽ
Essence.
truyền lung cho chúng ta câu tâm chú. Câu tâm
So
chú.
Om Yamentaga Hongpe. Om Yamentaga Hongpe. Om Yamentaga Hongpe. Okay, you don't have to unmute yourself. You can just mute yourself. I don't need to hear. You just repeat after me. That's fine. Okay, so this is the essence mantra. Now we will. So normally when you recite the essence mantra. Okay. So with here comes also the action mantra. Action mantra. Action mantra. Action mantra. Om Shriji Vikri Tanana Hongpe. Om Shriji Vikri Tanana Hongpe. Om Shriti Vikri Tanana Hongpe. This mantra is very powerful, especially if you have like obstacles and sometimes we have nightmares and different obstacles from people, from individuals, from different forces, from spirit and like that. The action mantra is very powerful for that. So you can keep that in mind. Yes.
Would you please write it down here, please?
I will do it later. So if you have time, recite it more than 100 times. If you don't have time, then it's okay. Just one is also fine. If you recite it, in order for this mantra to become to have maximum effect, you have to recite it 100 times. Okay. And then we also have the root mantra.
Và tiếp theo đó là câu chú gốc Samankata.
Okay. Om Yamaranza Satomeya Yamendoro Nayodaya Yadayoni Rayakea Yakeaza Niramaya Hung Pe Soha Om Yamaranza Satomeya Yametoro Nayodaya Yadayoni Rayakea Yakeyaza, Niramaya, Hun Hun, Pe Pe, Soha, Om, Yamaranza, Sadomeya, Yamendoro, Nayodaya, Yadayone, Rayakea, Yakeyanza, Niramaya, Hun Hun, Pe Pe, Soha. So this is called the root mantra. So this is actually to this mantra is to develop wisdom with the through the benevolence of Yamantaka deity. So this will, yeah. Since Yamantaka is the wrathful form of Manjushri, which is the Buddha wisdom, so in this practice also comes the Manjushri mantra as well. So when we recite the Manjushri, because Yamantaka is the wrathful form of Manjushri, when we recite the Manjushri mantra, we are actually reciting the mantra of both peaceful and the wrathful form of wisdom. Manjushri being the peaceful and Yamantaka being the wrathful form. So when we recite this mantra is very good for cultivating wisdom. And so whatever intelligence you have, this you can utilize for good things. Sometimes you become very clever, very smart, and you do bad things, right? So this mantra helps you to utilize your smartness for good things. The next one I'm going to give. So the mantra of peaceful and wrathful Manjushri combined.
Do vậy chúng ta cần phải chỉ tụng kết hợp luôn hai câu tâm chú ở dạng của Đức Văn Thù ở dạng an bình và Samakata ở dạng phẫn nộ.
Om Ara Pacha Nadi. 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 So early morning, you get up, say Om Ara Pacha Nadi. Like that, as long as you can. This is like it is also like a breathing practice. The D is the syllable, sit syllable of Manjushri. So when you say this thing, it makes it's almost like a tongue twister, a tongue twister. So it's like a tongue twister as well. So it makes your it makes it easy for you to recite any word, and it also cultivates, it also improves, develops your wisdom. Yes.
Rinpoche, I have a question.
Please go on. Yeah.
So last time you explained about what's the fastest way to achieve merit. Someone asked that question, and you explained that the fastest way is through mandala offering. Could you please explain more about mandala offering?
Sure. So mandala offering, we do two things, right? When you try to accumulate, when you are accumulating merit, when you practice accumulation of merit, which is part of the preliminary practices or preparatory practices, there was I have some I have some reservation with the term preliminary. It's more of preparatory rather than preliminary. So preliminary means something like you do this first and then you do something else. There is something more to be done. You know, this is the preliminary. So meaning like it's not the real thing. And then you do something else. There's something more to do. Actually, in Tibetan, we call them ngunjo jorwa, which is more like a preparatory thing. Anyway, so what it means is you are preparing yourself. You are conditioning yourself. So anyway, so we do this practice during our preliminary or preparatory practices. We do the mandala offering. So there are two things we do. We put in a lot of things, and then we destroy all of that. Put up, destroy, put up, destroy. So there are two things are involved here. So when you put up, you're putting up, you're accumulating merit. When you destroy, you are destroying your negativities. You're purifying yourself. All the negativities are being destroyed. So mandala is actually can be understood in many different ways. So normally when we say, okay, the monks are building a Zen mandala or this mandala, that mandala, we are saying we think of one square sort of a space where the monks are making most of the time some sort of a circular artwork. This is also a mandala. And then when we make offerings of mandala, then this is a totally different mandala from what the monks are making. And so there are many different forms of mandalas. So mandala the meaning behind mandala is the Tibetan, it's two words, essence. One is kilkor in Tibetan, meaning circulation of essence. So kil means essence, kor means to circulate. So through the practice that you do, the essence of whatever the practice is, the essence of whatever teaching that you are practicing is circulated towards you, directed towards you, drawn towards you. That is the meaning of Kinkor in the literal form. But it can also mean a lot of things. In Tibetan, we will say, if you say the whole mandala of Chandrasik,
Okay, Rinpoche, thank you. You're back.
Yeah. So some network problem. Okay. So basically mandala. Okay. So the literal translation of mandala, which is in Tibetan, two words, kil kor. Kil means essence and kor means to circulate. And so what you are doing is you are by making the mandala offering, you are making sure that the essence of the practice, the essence of the teaching is circulated towards you or drawn towards you, the practitioner, the one who is making the offering of mandala. So normally when we say I'm making a mandala, so there are different mandalas, right? When we say we are making Zen mandala, that's a different form. When we say we are making a mandala offering, that's a different thing. So when we say we are making mandala can also be understood as the whole universe. The whole universe is a mandala, or whole world is a mandala. If you say the Chandrasik mandala, it means the world of Chandrasik, the universe of Chandrasik, the universe of Tara, like that. If you say the mandala of Chandrasik is here, it means Chandrasik, all his retinue, his student, his everything is there with him. So like that. So when we make mandala offerings, we are actually building up the world according to Buddhist cosmology. So according to cosmology or evolution of cosmology, in accordance with Buddhism, Buddhist philosophy. So you have the different worlds. I cannot go into detail here. It's going to take too long. We can have a separate sort of teaching for this, if you like. So you are generally offering the whole universe to whomever you are doing this, to whomever you are making this mandala offering. be it your guru, be it the lineage master, be it to the Buddha, be it to the teacher that you're receiving the teaching from, and so on and so forth. And so, as the name suggests, Kil Khor, essence circulation, drawing of the essence. So whatever is teaching, you draw it within you. And therefore, when you draw the essence of the Dharma, that particular teaching, it becomes meritorious, accumulating a lot of merit. And also by the mudra, you have that physical activity of putting in a lot of the grains. So the more grain you put, it immediately kind of reminds you of merit. So you are accumulating grains, you are accumulating sand, stones. So immediately it has a relation to the term accumulation, putting in sand, putting in lots of merit, putting in lots of like that. You has a direction to accumulation. And then after making all the offerings, you destroy everything. You dismantle the mandala, telling us that nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. Not even our negative emotions, even our negative emotions. So this tells us that we have to, so this is a way of purifying yourself as well. So one thing you get and the other thing you give away. Yeah.
Rinpoche La, there's two words about the mandala
Yes.
offering. The one is essence, and the other is circulate.
Yeah, circulate or
Two
to
words
draw.
about the mandala.
It's the meaning.
Draw. Essence is the you said that is the essence. The meaning of the essence when we making offering is the teaching of the Buddha or the teaching Buddha teachings. You get?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
I
not
need
the
some words.
Yeah.
The essence and the circulate, the two words of the mandala meaning.
So essence and circulate, right? Or essence or circulate has to be understood as drawing here. So it means draw the essence of the teaching. So you don't just do mandala and then forget it. But that's why I keep saying it's not a preliminary. You must not call it preliminary. You have to call it preparatory practice, because mandala practice by itself is nothing. It has to do with something else. So you make the mandala offering in order to do bodhisattva practice, bodhicitta practice. You make the mandala offering in order to gain wisdom. So when you do that, mandala practice, which means essence, drawing of the essence. So you are drawing the essence of wisdom practice. You are drawing the essence of compassion practice. So mandala practice by itself, if you have no purposes, no goal, no direction, and you just make the mandala offering just like that, then it becomes, on its own, it doesn't have any effect. So the mandala offering should be done towards for a certain purpose. And that purpose, when we are drawing the essence of that purpose.
Okay. Okay, so we do the dedication. My dear Banam, and you can do this in Vietnamese.
Chúng ta tụng hồi hướng bằng tiếng Việt ạ, thầy vừa tụng hồi hướng bằng tiếng Tạng xong. Chị Yên đọc tiếng Việt đi ạ.
Dedication in Vietnamese, please.
Chị Anh đọc đi.
Nguyện đem công đức này.
Today I stop here. I have to rush for the Dalai Lama's teaching. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thầy
Rinpoche.
vội quá, thầy muốn